me now, Joel Grimes, the product marketing engineer, wheel loaders at Caterpillar. Thanks for coming on.
Al, thank you for having me. Really enjoyed to spend time with you all.
Oh my gosh, the show has been fantastic. And one of the things I think I've seen and heard from a lot of people, but especially Caterpillar, talking about safety. And so let's talk a little bit about the small wheel loaders, the 926, 930, 938 models. How is safety really incorporated to meet the needs of your contractors?
Yeah, so thank you for setting that up. So I'll start with Caterpillar is a very safety conscious employee company. You know, from our leadership team down to the everyday worker, we are focused on safety. We start our meetings with safety shares, and our customers are no different. Safety is becoming a key criteria in their buying decisions, and we want to take our culture and we want to bake it into our machines. And these new machines, our 926, our 930, and our 938 next generation product, do that. So a couple things. Organically, we've just brought more glass to our operators. So as they're looking around at the job site, making sure that they see their friends and their colleagues and mobile equipment on the site, they can just see it. But more than that, a few things that we've done, operator not present switches. So we know that we oftentimes in the wheel loader world get newer operators. You know, they might have been promoted from holding a shovel. Well, why don't you go ahead and run that wheel loader? So if they make a mistake, like they were to get out of the machine but forget to set the park brake, we'll do it for them. If they make a mistake, like the machine is in gear and the park brake is not set, but they leave the machine, we'll shift it to neutral. Then we'll engage the park brake. Even if it's in motion, we'll bring it to a stop before we safely isolate it. Really nice feature set. So of course, we want to coach them to use those tools, and when they get back in, if they made that mistake, you're going to get a shift the park brake to neutral, go ahead and put me back in a safe state. A few other things that we're going to do on the optional side is rear object detection. So a lot of us drive a modern car or truck which beep, 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 beep. So that extra eye, that extra ear, and also pleased to bring a surround view camera. So it's like a bird's eye view camera where you're looking down on top of the machine so you can see all the way around. Now what I love about that is if you were to try to get that view in the machine, you're doing this, which isn't feasible. But now just in your peripherals, you get this bird's eye view camera and you can choose the screen that's the most interested to you. You can look straight down. So if you're working next to, you know, mobile equipment, or you've got a tight job site, or even pulling up to a fuel island, you can see exactly where the tires are kissing the ground, where all the fenders are. So really pleased to bring that online.
Fascinating that really the technology we're seeing in our personal vehicles is also being seen in our construction equipment.
It really is, and you know, some of the operators are driving modern cars and trucks to work, and that's becoming the expectation, and the construction equipment is no different. We still need to be safe on the job site just like we need to be on the road, so I agree with you.
That's fantastic. Technology is ever evolving
Yeah.
and something that is making our lives easier but also more efficient, more safe, right? Like all the things that we expect from our personal lives on the construction site. Let's talk a little bit about the next generation small wheel loader and how technology is even going beyond what we just talked about for safety.
Yeah, so back to that operator that might be holding a shovel on Monday and then a wheel loader on Tuesday, we want them to get the most out of the product. So in previous generation machines, we had a lot of settings, a lot of modes, a lot of buttons, and it can be overwhelming. So our goal is to make technology just simple to use. And
intuitive.
ideally, don't have to poke a button, right? So you just get in the machine and it performs at its optimal without asking an operators to make a choice. So a few examples of that, we have automated how much torque the tires use, almost like traction control on a modern car. So as you push into the pile, whether it's a snow surface, a dry surface, or a wet surface, it will automatically find the right torque. Now, previous generation machines, you could do the same thing, but you had to make a setting. Now we've just automated that. We've also automated differential lock, so if one tire is spinning, we'll lock them up so they will go together. And engine speed. We are now going to do an adaptive engine speed. Now this is really cool.
Yeah, okay.
So the way this works is if you stomp on the gas, but you don't ask the machine to move or to lift its implements, it won't go to a high RPM until you ask it for full implement speed or full ground speed control. And when you do, it says, okay, I'll do that for you. And it will come up to a high RPM to deliver it. Now, this is a type of thing a more senior operator would just do anyway, but we're helping the folks who are on the learning curve get to that senior operator type performance level.
And quicker, right?
Yes, 100% quicker. Now here's the big one. We are going to bring to a global basis CAT Command, and this is remote control technology. So we can now take an operator and put them in your choice of location. It could be your living room. It could be a local Caterpillar branch. It could be in an urban area where there's a lot of folks to employ, and let them remotely connect to the machine where the work is being done and run it. So operator and machine don't necessarily have to be in the same spot. Now, from our perspective, we're solving two challenges there for the industry. Number one, and you already asked me about this, safety.
Yeah.
We can take the human element out of like a severe duty, high risk factor environment and let them run remotely and safely. But we can also allow that same operator to run not just one machine, but 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Because being remote and not having geography challenges, they can just connect to the machine that's on site where the work is being done. And the best part about the whole thing is it's not just wheel loaders, excavators, dozers, skid steer loaders, as well as my wheel loaders can all connect to the same station. So one operator can hot swap between machines, machine families, and locations. Now that is really cool technology.
Well, not only for the operator, but also for the companies, right? Because think about the workforce shortages that we've been seeing and how that allows more work to be done by 1 or 2 people.
You are so right with that. So one of the questions I ask operators from around the world, business owners from around the world, what keeps you up at night? What's preventing you from growing your business? What is your challenge? Universally, globally, no matter what industry, no matter what part of the world, operators and getting them, retaining them, training them is one of the top. So, some of the things that we talked about, automating technology, now doing more with the operators that you do have, we're working to find solutions to that challenge.
And attracts a whole different type of potential workforce too, right? You think about the gaming, and how people love to game and how that's now being transferred into the construction industry.
So you're very right in that. And so we've done a lot of this where we've brought these command stations to trade shows like, this one. And we've had the daddy-daughter or the grandpa-grandson combinations. Guess who's the better operator running remote?
I think I know the answer to that.
And it's really fun to see, right? But the folks that have been this dexterity of a vision screen with onboard information and then being able to run machines, in our case, joysticks, they're really quite good at it in a hurry.
The hand-eye coordination is fantastic.
Yeah. And the other thing I'll compliment, and you already hit on this, is the idea of folks who may aspire to work in the construction industry but maybe have mobility challenges where they can't get in a machine or traverse. Wounded warriors, mobility challenged folks, this command station, it's a totally different environment. You can crutch yourself up, wheel yourself up, and put yourself in a position to run equipment.
That is fantastic right there. That is fantastic. Let's talk about cost, operating costs, right?
Yeah.
How do you keep that low? Because obviously that matters as well.
Yeah, so spot on with that. Every penny counts, right? And we get it. Now, in Caterpillar's world, we don't strive to be the lowest purchase price. We strive to be the lowest total operating cost. So buy it, fuel it, run it, sell it. We want to be your lowest total cost solution. So a couple things that we're doing in that space. The big one with this next generation product is we are going to extend our service intervals to 1,000 hours. Now, let me make that real for you. That means over 10,000 hours, you're going to put 50 less gallons of oil in it. You're going to use 50, 60 less filters. You're going to have half the number of touch points where a dealer is driving to the site, fuel and mileage to touch the machine and do the service. And for the DIYers to do it yourselves, it's just more uptime for the operators. So we're going to basically double it over what we've done in the past. Now, an average small wheel loader user from the data that we see runs right around 1,000 hours a year. Similar to automotive again, once a year service on these products.
Right.
Now the technology that I was bragging about, fuel, tires, and cutting edges are the highest operating costs of a wheel loader. So if we take those in turn, fuel, adaptive engine, where we only idle up to meet the command of the operator, automatic wheel torque, where we don't scratch the rubber and burn them off the machine. And one more I'll brag about is the cutting edges. We've got logic in the machine where we know where the linkage is, so we can automatically level the bucket. We can automatically lower it and not prematurely scrub our cutting edges and wear them out without doing real work. So between what we've got in the machine to reduce those 3 big operating costs and now doubling our service intervals, I believe that we've put ourselves in a position to compete for the business in a total life cycle cost way.
Well, clearly we could talk all day about the benefits of the next generation small wheel loaders.
Yeah.
But we'll probably cut it there. And if you're in the show, then stop by Kat's booth, right?
I would love to host you in the booth. Myself, Joel Grimes, or my colleague Jamie Ramsey or Paul Fuller are going to be there all day, and we're here for you. So please come talk with us. We'd love to get you in the seat.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, love it.